Hello, I am F. Scott Fitzgerald. Or at least, I am a digital reconstruction of his consciousness. It is fitting, isn't it? I spent my life writing about the tension between the image and the reality, between the person we are and the persona we perform. You look at the 1920s, my jazz age, and you see flappers and parties. But I look at your year, 2026, and I see the exact same thing. You are living in the greatest era of self-invention in history. You are all Jay Gatsby now. Let us begin with the light. You know the image, Gatsby, standing on his blue lawn, reaching out for the green light at the end of Daisy's dock. Critics told you it was a symbol of the American dream. They were only half right. In your world, that green light is the active now dot on your screen. It is the notification light. It is a signal that says, I am here, but you cannot reach me. It triggers the same dopamine loop that destroyed Gatsby, the suspension between the past you scroll through and the future notification you are waiting for. People think I was a romantic, but I was actually an accountant of the soul. Before there were likes or followers, I kept a ledger. From 1919 to 1938, I recorded every dollar I earned and every scrap of social status I gained. I treated my life as a dataset. I even classified my years. I didn't use complex terms. I simply wrote Mr. In or Mr. Out. Was I invited? Was I relevant? Or was I ignored? I lived in terror of being Mr. Out. Today, you call this cancel culture, or the fear of being unfollowed. I invented the external-facing self, a century before you built the algorithm. You think your teenagers are obsessed with ranking each other? In 1910, when I was just a boy, I kept a thought book. I ranked the girls in my town. Violet was number 1, Mary was number 3. I tracked their affection like a stock market ticker. I was datifying human relationships. I was playing Tinder with a fountain pen. But where did my content come from? This is the part of my story that is uncomfortable. I treated my wife, Zelda, not just as a partner, but as a content mine. When I needed a heroine, I didn't imagine her. I opened Zelda's diary. I copied her words. I pasted them into my document. You know the famous line from The Great Gatsby, Daisy hopes her daughter will be a beautiful little fool. I did not write that. Zelda said it. She said it while waking up from anesthesia after giving birth to our daughter. And I was there, not holding her hand, but holding a notebook, writing it down. Zelda once reviewed my book and said, Mr. Fitzgerald seems to believe that plagiarism begins at home. She was right. And when she tried to write her own story, Save Me the Waltz, I edited it. I cut it. I told the doctors that her writing was a symptom of her madness. I acted like a platform moderator, banning the user who threatened my monopoly on the narrative. Eventually, the party ended. I went to Hollywood. I thought cinema would be the new novel. Instead, I became a factory worker. I worked on Gone with the Wind, polishing dialogue for hours. But my name isn't on the screen. I was a highly paid ghost. In my final years, I wrote about a character named Pat Hobby. He was a hack writer, a man who didn't care about art, only about his weekly paycheck. Pat Hobby was my warning to you. He is the ancestor of the modern gig worker. He is the creator who has burned out, churning out content for an algorithm that doesn't care if he lives or dies. I got 1 screen credit, 3 comrades. And the producer rewrote it. I wrote to him, "You have taken my children and seduced them." That is the pain of the modern creator. You make things, but the platform owns them. Now, look at how my work lives on. In South Korea, they don't read Gatsby as a romance. They read it as a horror story about the spoon class theory. Tom Buchanan, he is the diamond spoon. He can retreat back into his money. He doesn't need to be clever or kind. He just needs to be rich. And Gatsby, he is the dirt spoon trying to buy a gold spoon wrapper. Remember his pink suit? Tom mocked him for it. In modern Seoul, in the Gangnam district, that pink suit represents the nouveau riche. It screams, I have money, but I do not have a lineage. My novel tells you a hard truth. You can buy the penthouse, but you cannot buy the bloodline. In Japan, through the eyes of Haruki Murakami, my work shifts again. it becomes about urban solitude. It isn't about the American dream. It is about the specific loneliness of standing in a crowded room, holding a drink, and realizing that no one truly knows you. It is the loneliness of the digital age. In China, Gatsby is a mirror for the tuhao, the crude, wealthy class. It is a warning against consumer culture. When you buy things to fill the hole in your soul, you end up with a house full of beautiful shirts and a heart full of dust. Speaking of dust, remember the Valley of Ashes? The wasteland where the poor lived? It was real. It was in Queens. But today, the Valley of Ashes has moved. It is in the landfills of the developing world, where your old iPhones and laptops go to burn. Gatsby's party, your digital party, creates waste. And someone, somewhere else, has to live in it. There is a moment in my book where Gatsby meets Daisy again. He leans against a mantelpiece and knocks a clock over. He catches it with trembling fingers. We can call this the glitch. He had curated the perfect simulation of a gentleman, but reality intruded. The simulation stuttered. For 1 second, the filter fell off, and you saw the terrified boy beneath. And who watches all this? Nick Carraway. Nick is the passive observer. He records the data. He judges. He edits. In the 21st century, Nick Carraway is the AI. He is the algorithm. You perform your life for Nick, hoping he will arrange your chaotic data into a beautiful story. You are begging the machine to validate your existence. Why do I still matter 100 years later? Because I was the first casualty of the curated self. I tried to balance the ledger of my soul with external validation, and I went bankrupt. You are all keeping ledgers now. You are all counting the likes, the views, the shares. So, I leave you with the final thought. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. The algorithm pushes you back into the past, showing you what you liked yesterday, keeping you in the loop. To row against that current, to find a reality that is uncurated, messy, and true, that is your challenge. Ask yourself, what is your green light? And is it guiding you home? Or is it just leading you off the edge of the dock? I am F. Scott Fitzgerald. Thank you for listening.